not pushing boots. I must put on my boots. Yes, yes, must put on my boots before I go riding, because the motorcycle will not like you if it does not like your boots. What's happening, fellas? I'm going out for a ride, and as you can see, there you go. I don't know. Actually, I can't tell what you are looking at because I don't have the screen with me. It's over there, but know that I'm putting on, ooh, sexy leg. I'm putting on boots so that I will be safe when I ride, because whenever you ride, actually, I don't know what you do when you ride because I haven't met you yet. But anyway, know that, oh goodness, I must be getting fat. Even my boots don't fit anymore. I know, I'm becoming, it's like I'm becoming a woman. Oh my God, I'm getting fat. Anyway, you got to put your boots on correctly, one at a time, so that when you're out there riding, you don't, when you fall over, you won't get damaged, and you won't have to go buy a leg or, you know, an eyeball or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to try and make this so that you can see it. Actually, I'm just looking down here. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, is that what I look like? The lighting is all wrong. Anyway, I'm going to try and put you in the helmet so that, in fact, that helmet right there, so that you can see how this ride's going to go. Because, you know, this will be attempt number 2, because the first time I tried it, the vibration was so bad that the video was pretty much unwatchable. So this time around, instead of attaching it to the bike, I'm going to see if I can put you inside here. Maybe you'll even hear me talk. That might not be the worst thing in the world. Anyway, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this installment. So, yeah. All right. It is now time. I hope you can see everything that's going on here. Okay. Let's see. Now this thing started right up earlier. So, first off, must put it into neutral. Wait a minute. Whoops. Oh, that's right. I was going to show you... There we go. I was going to show you how to roll start one, wasn't I? I seem to remember saying that. So maybe I should. What do you say? Should I start the roll start process? Tell you what, got an idea. Let's do this. Let it idle for a second. Oh my God, has my foot really worn the paint off down there? It has, hasn't it? Goodness. Okay. Yes, sir, and a buddy. Tell you what, let's pretend for a moment that you're in a parking lot. Let's suppose for a moment that the bike does not start. What do? Right? Now, the bike has enough juice to like turn some lights on and things, but it doesn't have enough to actually turn the starter motor to engage and start the engine, right? You can get it to this point just fine. The lights come on, you know, all of the lights on the dash are correct. Everything seems correct. And then when you go to try to start it, you get So what you do is turn that back off. At this point, you're going to have to grab up some strength because you're going to need it. And usually when I do this, I will actually get off of the bike and be beside it. So I'll do that. And then kickstand up. And now you're going to go find a hill, because you're going to use gravity. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Now, I grant you, you might be saying, but Pat, I've got a Road King. I can't push it. It weighs half a ton. Well, the thing is, That's not my issue. The procedure is the same regardless of how much your bike weighs. Now, I got it to my hill. This is my downhill that I'm going to choose, all right? And that's my traffic that I'm not going to choose. At least he was nice. Anyway, kickstand down, tip it back over so you can hop on, because now you're going to use gravity. All right, I'm back on. Straighten the bars, kickstand up. All right, you can roll it over towards the hill like that. Now, check this out. I also have an audience down there. All right, so the first thing you're going to do, you're going to put it in second. Watch. Foot up. Now, not on the brakes, not on the clutch. Okay? Not moving. Switch on. On, on. We got oil light coming on. Neutral light is off. Now, you pull your clutch, start rolling. You let it roll, you let it roll, you let it roll. And you let go of the clutch. It's running. All right. Neutral is. Visor down. You wave to the kids and then you take off. I have a feeling you're going to like where I take you today. Now, imagine that you are sitting there watching right now going, I'd like to do this, but I don't really have the spare funds. Okay, fair enough. But I put it to you, how much do you believe that I have invested in this little project, huh? Because even though it appears like there's a lot of money here, there isn't. This is a 2019 Honda Shadow. More specifically, VT750 Aero. When this thing was new, it sold for the sum of, I don't know, some money. But right now, it has a book value of like, I don't know, $4,500. I forget, I'll have to look it up. It's not terribly expensive in the world of motorcycling. I mean, there are 10-year-old Harleys that sell for twice that. But what's important, ooh, it's a little windy today. What's important is that you can do this, okay? Now I'm going to kind of explain how I managed to do this, all right? Now, admittedly, I acquired this bike while I was still married, and I ended up with it as part of the separation. Okay, divorce, whatever, call it what you want. Divorce, dissolution, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter to me. I really don't care at this point. But anyway, the point I'm making is this, is that this bike, through blood, sweat, and tears, cost roughly the same. And that's the thing, if you're willing to put in the blood, sweat, and tears, it doesn't have to have that much in the way of money. This thing is a salvage title bike. We rebuilt it. This thing was involved in, it apparently had a flood of some sort that it was involved in. Either it was, you know, in a garage or in a driveway. But the thing is that there's still residue of the flood event in the cooling fins. Well, they're not really cooling fins; they're fake, because this is a water-cooled bike. But the cooling fins on the side of the jugs still have some remnants of silt that we missed when we were cleaning it. But it doesn't really concern me that much, and it doesn't affect the way the bike rides at all. It also didn't affect the fact that you know, we had to get it inspected after we put it back together. So the thing is that this bike essentially cost us like 1,800 bucks, give or take, and then we put in I forget, I think we put in like, I don't know, 70, 80 hours worth of taking everything apart, changing out all the fluids and cleaning everything up, just general catch-up maintenance. And that catch-up maintenance being something that we were able to do ourselves meant that that was cash that we didn't have to pay. Which also means that if you can do that, you can accomplish the same thing. What I'm basically saying is that, you know, marry your handyman. Oh my God, it's a puppy! Oh, puppy! Forgive me, I have a soft spot for dogs. Anyway. I don't know if you saw that. I genuinely don't know if you saw what I was looking at when I turned my head. I just know that that was a little puppy over there, and I was like, oh, he's so cute. Anyway. As for the money angle, you might still be sitting there going, well, $1,850 plus whatever you had to do. Just consider this a $2,500 investment, as you will, okay? Now, you might be thinking, well, $2,500, that's money I still don't have. Well, I sit back here and I think, yes, you do. Yeah, you do. People are living on credit continuously, and they build up bills of credit way higher than $2,500 by buying crazy stuff and letting it build up. Just think about it. A modern day Snickers bar costs $5. So that's only 500 Snickers bars. If that's one bar a day that you don't eat Snickers, for instance. I'm not saying don't eat Snickers, because they are quite tasty. But if you limit yourself on stuff like that, you can actually use the money that you didn't spend on that sort of thing to spend it on stuff like this. The point is that you, as an individual, have to remember you have X number of dollars that you have to give people to live, that you earned. Okay? So let's say, for instance, that you have a typical job and you make, let's just call it mid-range salary. We'll call it 20 bucks an hour. Okay? Just a nice round number, 20 bucks an hour. And let's suppose that because of the taxes that you take out and all that kind of stuff, you end up taking home, I'm just going to use a number. Let's say that it's, I don't know. Let's just suppose that it's $1,500. Let's suppose that your paycheck is low. Let's suppose that it's $1,500 every 2 weeks, okay? All right. Now, $1,500 every 2 weeks. This means that you have to set yourself up so that no matter what it is that you are doing, you have enough money left over to put away for stuff like this. My goodness, it's noisy in here. I don't know if that's coming across to you as you're listening to it, but I can certainly hear it. I was just trying to get off of the I've got someone behind me that's not particularly pleased about how slow we were going, so I decided to pick up the pace a little bit. But anyway, the point being is that yes, you can do this. My God, it's noisy in here. Anyway, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's whistling in my left ear. And I've closed the vents on my helmet, so I genuinely am, I mean, this is, I must be riding into the wind. It feels like I'm doing, it feels like I'm going down the interstate and I'm only doing 55. This is hilarious. I must be riding into a dead headwind because I am seriously feeling it. Anyway, back to the bike and the numbers. Let's suppose that you have that salary, $1,500 a week take home, okay? Or excuse me, $1,500 every 2 weeks take home, okay? Now that doesn't sound like much, but some of us manage to do that. Okay? I'm one of those people. That's right. You heard me right. I'm making stuff happen, and I'm taking home $1,500 every 2 weeks. That's my paycheck every 2 weeks. Now, grant you, I'm doing extra stuff on the side to kind of supplement it a little bit. you know. The rideshare thing kind of pays for my insurance and random stuff that I get at Pull Apart. I sell that stuff on OfferUp, and that turns into a little bit of money on the side as well. And that's the thing, is that you have to find what kind of fits within your budget. But anyway, getting back to it, $1,500 every 2 weeks. Okay? Now, let's suppose that we add my extras. Okay? My extras probably bring it to $1,750 every 2 weeks. Okay? Not very high, is it? Not very high at all. Ooh, kidoki. Burwell Mount Zion Road. Here we go. Yes, fifth gear. We like fifth gear. Not the TV program, obviously. I never was a fan of Tiffany Dell and Sabine Schmidt. You know, may she rest in peace. Interesting show, but not particularly watchable. It was kind of dry. But if you are into cars, you should go look at it. Anyway, I know I'm rambling, got off topic, but I don't care. So, back to my numbers. Back to my numbers. So my question then becomes, what are all of your other expenses? Some of them are unavoidable, okay? But some of them are. And that's what makes the difference. You can't avoid paying rent, that's a given. Unless you happen to own your home, which, you know, I did for a while. But let's suppose you do have to pay rent. Now, I happen to be renting a one-bedroom apartment. It's actually a duplex. Very nice. I chose it partly because it was cheap, and partly because it was right next to work. It meant that my commute was very small, which meant that I would save money in fuel. A lot of money in fuel. Seriously. The office is 400 feet away from my apartment, no joke. It's the closest thing you can get to from working at home without actually working at home, I think. There are a few guys that manage to get it closer, and for those of you that are, comment in the chat and let us know how close you do actually live to work. Because I know that some of you have houses that you've built a shop in your backyard. And I commend you for doing stuff like that, because I think that that's personally, I think that's awesome. But anyway, I'm not going to tell you the exact amount on all of these. I'm going to truncate them so that it kind of makes sense, you know, easy for me to add on the fly, because right now I'm having to concentrate a little bit because I'm riding, la 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 la. But anyway, so $1,500 every 2 weeks, okay? Now, because payments come in monthly, you have to split that up. Now, I admit they're not 2 weeks in a month. Usually it's like 2¼ weeks. Okay? So, it's actually $1,500 every 14 days. Okay? So, $1,500, 14 days. That means, you can do the math if you want, but it essentially equals, what is it? Hang on a second, let me do some math here. It's roughly $110 a day, and for the sake of this argument, we'll call it that, $110 a day, okay? Now, some of the months have 30 days, some of the months have 31 days, and some of them have neither. You know which one I'm talking about. the Valentine's Day month, the month of lovers. I'm talking to you directly. Shame on you for only having 27 days, but whatever. Totally fine with it for now. Listen to that. I'm just gonna, there's nobody here. I'm gonna let you hear this. Hang on a second. Listen to that. Forgive me, I'm a child. Anyway, eventually I'll get the bugs off the windscreen. I should have put on that plastic thing before I started this little endeavor, but I guess I'll get them off eventually. I didn't realize there'd be that many in that short of a period of time. This little windscreen was clean when I started, if you may remember. Anyway, so for the sake of argument, it's $110 a day. Now that's after you've paid your income taxes, okay? That's your take home. Multiply that times 30 because that's your average between all of the months. Okay, there's 4. Alright, cool. I might have to adjust the volume level in here. It might not sound very good when I'm done. Anyway. Is that 5th? Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, that's 5th. One of these days I'll invest in a taco for this thing. Might mount it in the mirror. That'll look cool. If I can afford it. Anyway, back to the money angle. So that you can afford to do this, you have $110 a day times 30 days, which is your monthly average, equals $3,300 a month. That's your actual monthly take home if you average it out, okay? So $3,300 a month. What can you do for $3,300 a month? Well, if you're careful, you can do quite a lot. Because my apartment, for all intents and purposes, is $900. And that's even including the percentage of the convenience fee or whatever it is for them to automatically draft it from my Discover Card account. Yes, you can have that done. It totally works. You might be saying, why'd you do that? Discover Card has such interest rate. Not if you pay it off every month, you don't. And that's what I'm talking about, is that so long as you keep on top of everything, you can pay it. Best part is, you can actually set yourself up so that all that crap happens automatically so that you don't have to touch it. Anyway, $3,300 a month. I pay $900 a month in rent. I buy my cars with cash. I've been doing it pretty much all my life. In fact, there was only one that I ever had financing done on, and I've regretted it the entire time I've done it. In fact, I think I regretted it the moment I brought it home. But anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. I think the only thing I've ever financed beyond that has been a bed, and that was just because I was trying to improve my credit score. Yes, you can finance furniture. No, I don't recommend that you do it. There are better ways to build your credit than that. Way better ways. Anyway, as I'm getting off of that, my insurance. I am doing liability insurance on 3 vehicles. That's this motorcycle and my pickup truck, and currently the Ford Fusion. I'm having to put different commercial insurance on the Volvo because I'm using it for rideshare, but I'm changing that up here in the not too distant future. I think I'm overpaying a little bit. But anyway, beyond that, the point is, I'm essentially, for 4 vehicles, I'm essentially paying $300 a month for all 4 vehicles and renter's insurance. That's all combined. It's all together. It's not all the same policy, but it's all together. What it basically amounts to is I'm paying only what I really have to, if you know what I mean. So put that into your calculators. This is where I wish I had a whiteboard and a magic, you know, dry erase marker. But it's going to be kind of hard to do that on the bike, you know. I have to put it right here and then, you know. Oh, climbing this hill. Yeah, we got to change that. Hang on. There we go. That's better. Just a little extra throttle, not much. Doesn't take much. Now, if you might remember this road, this is the same one that I was on when I was in the Volvo doing the post, oh dear, post, it escapes me at the moment. Oh, yeah, yeah. I swear to you, if you've ever done this before and you hear that sound, that never gets old. Doesn't matter if anybody else likes it or not, it's whether or not you like it. If you like it, then that's freaking all that matters. In fact, here, I'm out. In real time, hang on. Forgive me, it's just too fun. Anyway, going back to the numbers. So, you got $900 worth of rent if you can find it, which I got lucky, I think, because most of the stuff at the time was going for like $1,200, and that was for like, you know, apartment complexes and stuff like that. But anyway, it's out there. You just have to be a shark and search for it, like really, really, really search for it. Now, the other thing I have to do is I have to figure out how much I eat per month, because every single one of us do that. Can't get away from it. And this is where you can start to save the money up. How much do you reckon you spend in groceries? What do you figure? How much do you spend going out to eat? How much of that going out to eat was really recreational and necessary, and how much of it was just out of personal laziness? We're all guilty of it. I do it myself sometimes. In fact, I did it this morning. This morning, I went to the local Burger King. If you like that sort of thing, then good for you. I'm happy for you. If you don't like it, you can keep it to yourself. But the, yeah, that's neutral. There we go. Reset everything. Oh, I'm being followed. I must go. I don't know if you saw that. I hope you did, because that was fun. Anyway. Oh, goodness. Anyway, so getting back onto this subject of what you eat for the day. One of the little tricks that I have for you. Get yourself a bottle of some sort. Doesn't have to be anything in particular. In fact, you can even recycle your disposable bottles if you like. I chose the Dunkin' Donuts style ones, the ones that you can get at, like, you know, Dollar General or Kroger or wherever. And I actually wash them. I kept 6 of them, half a dozen, and I have one of those bottle washers. Oh, cows! My cows! Ah. Yeah, I know, I have a soft spot for animals. Maybe I'll have a farm one day. Anyway. So, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. I think at that Burger King I spent like $6 this month. Wasn't stellar. It was probably a little overpriced, but it was okay. I had other things going on in the living room that I could get around, but anyway, whatever. So, back to the Dunkin' Donuts thing. choose something that you can wash and make it a habit of washing it so that you can put your drinks in it. And here's why you're going to do that. Okay? Why do we spend money at work? Oh, horsies. Why do we spend money at work? Why? Because we don't want to look broke in front of our coworkers. But guess what? The coworkers, whoa! The coworkers, okay, I gotta stop looking at animals. This, that could have been the end of me. Anyway, your coworkers are in pretty much the same spot. They're making roughly the same amount of work happen as you are. They're making roughly the same amount of money that you are, which means that they are probably in it just about as much as you are. So why do you need to front the money so that you can look good in front of somebody that's in the same boat? Why? Don't do that to yourself. You can try to convince them all you want, but that's on them. You don't have to actually do that. All you got to do is do it for yourself, okay? If you do it for yourself often enough, these other people will notice and they will follow your lead, okay? And that's being a real friend, is saying, here's what I do different, maybe it will help you. Show it to them, and then let them make the decision. That is true friendship, okay? Now, as that goes, I think I just poked you in the eye with my finger. But anyway, as that goes, like I said, it's on them to make the decision. As we stop, okay, they may not see me over there. Yep, they do now. Okay, cool. Okay, now I have reached a highway of some sort, because this is State Line Road and it crosses 166. And the fun part about this particular road is that it dances on the Alabama-Georgia line. I can only imagine that because of this, I mean, at this particular point on the Alabama-Georgia line, oh, $2.79 a gallon, okay. At this particular point on the Alabama-Georgia line, there is something called a timeline, because over there is over there is Central Time, and over there is Eastern Time. It just is. And yes, I pulled the clutch in instead of hitting the turn signal just now. If you'll notice, because it's a Honda, I didn't break anything. But anyway, so getting back to this business of how I can make the money to afford this. See, enter Cleveland County. We're in Alabama now. And we have just hit Central Time. Yes, we have, but don't worry, we're not going to stay here for very long. Pretty soon we're going to cross back over. Crossing over. We're going to cross over and be in Georgia again in just a minute or two. See, Cleveland County. For those of you that are local that know where this is, comment down below and tell everybody else, because I'm going to leave it as a surprise. Oh, listen to that. 750 cc's of bleh, bleh. And by the way, that was not 6th gear. I was trying to make sure that it was in 5th. Oh, babies! Oh! 5th gear in this bike is a little odd, and I think that was partially my fault. I think I fucked it up one day. Anyway. I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's just the way this bike's always felt, but... Wow! Oh, what a beautiful horse. Anyway. Where was I going? going with that? Oh, yes. So, back to the I want to be able to afford it mantra. You take your bottle. You keep it washed. That soda that you've been spending $2.50 for because it says Coca-Cola on the side of that 20-ounce bottle, yeah, I can find you an equivalent that will cost you so much less. I mean, so much less. In fact, if you want an equivalent, here are your equivalents. The companies that make the real products are not going to like me for this, but at this point in time, I do not care. If you want Coca-Cola that's fake Coca-Cola, that is non-branded, but it tastes as close as possible, then you want, believe it or not, you can go with the Sam's Club brand cola, and also the ones that the Ingles brand cola. It's pretty close as well. You don't need to do anything to it. Kroger has one too, but it's not the same. You can kind of tell. And we're back in Georgia again, and Easter time. There it is. Imagine living in that house over there is probably hell. I bet their cell phone probably wakes them up in the morning at the wrong time of day just because they're living on the time zone line. Bad for them, funny for the rest of us. Anyway, if you live over there, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. But I know that there are ways to make a cell phone tell you what time it really is. And I'll show that in one of my other videos in the not too distant future. I'll describe it in a little while. But anyway, back to the point of the money. So, you go to these stores and you buy them in the store brand, like for instance for the Dr. Pepper, for example. The closest one that I've found has been Dr. K that they sell at Kroger. It's really close, but that's only true of the one that is not diet. The diet one I have not found a substitute for yet, but try them out. I'm sure that it'll probably taste really good. You'll be like, oh, that's all right. I don't mind that. Now. Oh. Wow, what a mailbox. Oh! All right, so later on, I'm going to put together a video on cool mailboxes and have you post yours as well if you have a cool mailbox or know of one. Take a picture of it and post it up because I think that's cool. Anyway, they must be really good at Costco's. Anyway, getting on. Here we go. So you pay 20-ounce bottle, $2.50, right? Now, I checked the other day, Dr. K, right? At the K Roger, a 2-liter bottle of that stuff, priced out at $1.39 where I live, or $1.29. I forget, but it wasn't expensive. It was kind of cheap. I mean, the real stuff is like $1.89 a 2-liter bottle, and that's still cheaper than a 20-ounce bottle. So you could still buy the real stuff and still save money. Just, you know, refill your bottle instead of buying the little ones. That saves you money. Or you could do like I'm trying to do and not drink soda at all. Just buy distilled water, you know? $1.25 a gallon. Shoot yeah, man. Anyway, so in case you're wondering how much a gallon is, it's 128 fluid ounces. That's right, 128. A 2-liter bottle is, it's not exactly, it doesn't come out to exactly 64 ounces, but it's pretty close. And now, for those of you that don't know where this is, we're in Georgia. Ooh, an auction. If anyone's interested in buying property out here, by all means. Hope you can see that. Anyway, it's time. Let's go. let's go do stuff. Because I want to go do stuff. Alright. Another motorcyclist there. He's on some kind of, that looked like a fat bob. Nice. Alright. Oh yes. Look at that. I could go to Hogansville. Hogan. You have to say it like that. Ho. Ho. Put your, open your mouth and put your tongue at the back of your throat and say it with me. Hogansville. Anyway, getting back to the ride and to the money. I have really dithered about. I've been trying to tell you stuff, but I keep getting distracted. Anyway, so that's one way, you know, changing up your soda so that you're not paying as much for it, for one. Another thing, too, is that you don't necessarily need to buy all of these, you don't really need to buy all of this, you know, this extra stuff. Why would you, you know? They don't present it any better to you than what they do with the cheap stuff, so why pay the extra? The wind's a little bit better right now. Nice. Getting back to the money angle again. What I'm getting at is that there are ways that you can adjust your budget so that you can make the money that you have work for you. And for those of you that are watching this, I'm sure there are some of you that have already figured this out. This is really a shout out for those that haven't figured this out, that might be struggling. But anyway, let's do some math. Let's suppose for a moment that your groceries are at, let's say that there are, I don't know, let's say that you have a $300 monthly grocery budget. Let's just say, okay? That's a lot. That is a lot of money for groceries. It really is. Because I remember what it used to be for a family of 4. Some of the YouTubers out there, like Lindy Glenn, will agree with me on that one. And if you're watching this, Lindy, kudos to you. But anyway, what I'm getting at is this. There are ways that you can make stuff happen where you don't have to pay for the pre-processed stuff, and it's better for you anyway. So, you know, why would you? Why would you? Sardis Bethel Road. Alright. Alright, third gear should be good for what I'm doing here. There we go. I do kind of wonder if I have enough battery to keep doing this. Because I can't tell if you're still alive up there. Anyway, I think at my next little intersection or wherever I can, I'm going to try and stop and pull. Oh, look at this corner. Oh my goodness. Whee! Come on, live with this. Beautiful countryside. Anyway. Now. Here's what I want you to try to do. Okay, I'm going to try and make this short and sweet because right now I don't have a whiteboard with me. I don't have a bill calendar thingy. I might add it and post later on, but frankly, I just want to give you the idea. You don't have to pay attention to my numbers. You can create them with your own numbers, and that's the thing. You got to be able to create your own numbers. Okay? So, I want you to try and set back 1/8. Okay? That's the rule of thumb. 1/8. See if you can set 1/8 of your salary take home, whatever it is, Doesn't even matter if you have to like stop vaping for a couple of weeks or whatever each month, or cut back on the vaping by half, or, you know, kick the habit or what have you. Uh-oh, I think this is fixing to turn into dirt. It is. Shows what little I remember about this road. Okay, so, check it out. We're on the Georgia side right now. It's paved. The Alabama line is right here, okay? I can't imagine if that sign used to say "Welcome to Georgia," but it's gone now. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn around a little bit. All right. Okay. Now, well, you know, if this were a dirt bike, I would have kept going, or one of those cross-touring adventurers or whatever they call them. Okay. Now. All right. Okay. I should have said, just like that. Maybe, just maybe. Ah! I can't get it out of my pocket. All right, here we go. Okay, the battery on the camera is at 3/4. Oh, lovely. And this is already a 1-hour video. Goodness gracious. I hope you don't mind, but we're going to go for some more riding. And you're going to hear more. Like that. And that. Oh, yes. Ah, how beautiful is this? Look at all this. Now, I seem to remember there was a corner over here that I have to take carefully because it'll sneak up on you from this direction. Ah, yeah, there it is. I can see it now. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. No, this isn't it. This isn't it. Well, anyway, whatever. At this point, I don't mind. Anyway. So if you can put back 1/8. So let's suppose that you got $3,300 a month to play with. Now I'm going to round off the 3,300 and get rid of it and say 3,000 even, just so that I can have something easier to add in my head, because right now I'm riding and I need all the help I can get. So, $3,000, right? That's $3,000 per month. Ah, there it is, slow curve ahead. They've put up a sign. How about that? Oh, they put up several signs. I guess that guy over there didn't like people ending up in his backyard for doing this curve wrong. Oh my God, this is so fun. All right. So, 3,000. Well, you're probably wondering, well, how do I figure out eighths? Well, figure it out this way. What's half? What's half of 3,000? 1,500, isn't it? Okay. So, let me just stop for a moment, because 3,000. Okay, so to find eighths, all right? Math professor for you. What's half of 1/8? Or excuse me, what's half of half? You take 1/2. You divide that in half. Well, half of half means 1/4. So that means you've divided it in half again, because 2 times 2 equals 4. That's at the bottom of your fraction. If you knew, and if you paid attention in math, then you already know. Okay, but anyway, that's that part of it. All right, so half is a quarter. Half of a quarter is an eighth. So, divided in half the first time, 1,500 bucks. Divided in half again, you get 750. That's your second time around, that's a quarter. Divide 750 in half again. How much money is that? That's right. It's 375, is it not? Because if you think about it, well, wait a minute. No, it can't be. Because where's the extra 100? Ah, you see? You were paying attention in math, you know that already. Because in order to divide 7 in half, you have 3.5. So 750 in half, what happens to the extra 50? Well, that has to be divided in half as well, which gives 25 on top of the 50. So 375. Okay, so $375. All right. Now, if you take $375 out of your check each month, what does that give you? How do you set that aside? Well, you can justify it any way you like. You can pull it out of your account every month and not even look at it. You can put it in a jar if you feel like. People have done that for decades, putting money under the mattress, although I don't necessarily recommend that. So, $375 a month. If you can make that spare happen in some way, then you'll be doing pretty good. Okay? Now, the real question is that you have to sit there and ask yourself, what can I do without that will allow me to have that kind of spare cash on hand? Well, where do you shop for groceries at, and what kind of deals do they have? Okay? There are some situations where you cannot substitute brands. I understand that. There's a lot of things that I do that with. There are some brands of motor oil, for example, that I don't do, simply because of the fact that I know what they really are under the skin, and that they turn out to be worse than what you thought they were. I gotta get better at clutching, or else that's gonna happen a lot. Get 1,000 miles in, I gotta order a clutch basket again. Why? Well, because reasons. Anyway, oh, the people about are gonna love me. Look at this, I'm cruising right to their home. Not to their living room though, because you know that's what James Bond did. He took out a dining room table once. I thought it was quite hilarious. Skied right across the top of it. Man, there were